How to legally save $156,000 in tax by selling the right property. That's right, folks. For example, you've got 3 properties. One made $520,000, one made $80,000, and one made $10,000. Which one should you sell to pay the least tax? Most Australians would sell the one that barely went up. Sounds logical, right? Wrong. Under the new rulebook, since the many changes, the smartest move might be to sell the property that makes you the most money, and on top of that, legally pay 0 tax. Congratulations, guys. You have officially entered the Australian property market on advanced mode. Today, guys, I will show you why the 6-year rule just became one of the most powerful wealth hacks in Australia, and how one family can potentially save over $150,000 in tax, and also why your current home might secretly be your best investment property. We're also going to talk about the 3 loopholes most people had never heard about, and why the new CGT changes have accidentally made this strategy even stronger. So again, guys, less yapping queue, let's get into it. Firstly, guys, the 6-year rule just got a massive buff. Like, everyone online at the moment is talking about the new higher CGT rules, like fewer discounts, inflation indexing, and the 30% minimum floors. But almost nobody is talking about this. Your home is still the final boss, because the 6-year rule still exists, guys. And the 6-year rule is basically saying, we'll pretend that this is still your home, even though you're renting it out. Let's just say, for example, you buy a house, you live there, and then you got a bigger family, and then you need more space. Now, most people, they either move overseas for a couple of years, or they simply upgrade, or the smart ones, which are mostly my clients, they move out and rent the current property out. But then within 6 years, they return. And by law, the tax system can still treat this property as your principal place of residence. And to put it in plain English, guys, it means no CGT, no inflation indexing headaches, and no minimum tax floors. Nothing, guys. Like, for example, you could make $300,000, $500,000, or $1 million if you do end up selling the property within the 6 years and pay 0 tax. Zilch. Meanwhile, the rest of Australia is doing Olympic-level gymnastics trying to save a few $1,000s. This is where I go in segment 2 of the video, the $156,000 tax saving example. So let's make this practical with an example. Imagine it's 2031, you own 3 properties. Here's a table at the moment. Property number 1, your first home, you lived in it for 5 years. Then you upgrade it to a larger family home. And instead of selling it, you kept it and you rented it out using the 6-year rule. The capital growth for this property is $520,000 in that given year. Now, moving down on the table, we have property number 2, which is currently your family home. And also, by doing a valuation, the capital growth in that given year is only $80,000. And right now, moving downwards, we have property number 3, a long-term investment property. The capital growth of this property in that given year is $10,000. Now, most people think the old home is now a rental, so I'll probably sell that one last. Not necessarily, because under the 6-year absence rule, your former home may continue to qualify for the main residence exemption. But here's the important part. During any overlapping period, you generally can't have 2 properties treated as your main residence at the same time, which means when one of those properties is eventually sold, that's often when the tax outcome is worked out. And in many cases, you can determine which eligible property received the main residence exemption for the overlapping period. So to put that in plain English, let's just say you choose to protect your former home, for example, the first property in the table over here. What this means is the $520,000 of capital gain, if you chose to sell that property and put it under that exemption, that portion won't get taxed. And let's assume the effective CGT rate of around 30% under the proposed new rules. That's potentially $156,000 saved. Now, if we move that equation forward, if you sold this home, what happens to your current home? Well, of course, the current home may end up with a taxable portion because that was not under the protection of the 6-year rule exemption. But when you do the maths, for example, you speak to an independent financial advisor or accountant, they will tell you it is kind of better that you're protecting the larger gain asset to get the overall tax outcome that you're paying less tax. And right now, if you apply that smart tax planning strategically, you are like many of our clients that use our services, they're playing chess, not checkers. And this is where we lead into the third part of this video. Your current home might become your best investment property. So imagine this, guys. You buy your first home, you live there, say, for example, for 5 years, then you upgrade to a larger family home. Instead of selling it, you keep it as an investment property. And depending on when it was acquired and on how the transitional CGT rules ultimately apply, that property may still retain favorable tax treatments under the existing regime. And what this means in plain English, you can still get traditional negative gearing, which was taken away since the changes, because this property, which was owner-occupied before, is grandfathered to get all the negative gearing benefits. And on top of that, it gets the 6-year rule tax exemption. And when you apply this strategy to your next property move, this is an incredibly powerful combination. Because think about it, guys, your grandparents bought homes because they needed somewhere to live. But for us millennials or Gen Zs, we're buying homes like we're solving a tax escape route. Like, it's very funny, but in different times, it comes with different strategies. This is where I lead to section 4 of the video. These are the 3 advanced 6-year rule strategies most investors don't know. It's kind of hard, but let me break it down. Strategy number 1. The 6-year rule isn't always as simple as 6 calendar years. And whether the property is producing income, whether it's vacant or later becomes your home again, all these things can affect the rules. And this area becomes highly technical. And this is where good tax advice matters. So the number 1 first strategy is get yourself a good accountant. Number 2, you may be able to refresh the 6-year period. For example, imagine you're approaching year 6, and then if you generally move back into the property, what it does is it re-establishes as your home again. And then you later move out again, and then you simply rinse and repeat to make sure you're always under the CGT exemption blanket. And strategy number 3, ownership percentages matter. Like normally, couples share one principal residence. Like that's the standard rule. But there are situations where ownership percentages can create different tax outcomes. For example, if one spouse owns less than 50%, there can be additional planning opportunities. Say example, we have a husband and wife. They both purchased an owner-occupied property. The husband owns 10% of this property, while the wife owns 90% of this property. And say years later, they buy another property together. And then the question comes out, which one should receive the main residence exemption? Now, usually for our clients, they will receive prior tax planning before they go and set up their property portfolio and buy 1, 2, 3 properties. They actually know what is their end goal, and it starts restructuring from the beginning. So the strategy here is, if you are going to treat certain properties in the future to have main residence tax exemption, the first property might be held in a smaller ownership in one spouse's name. But because this is quite complex and becomes blurred into tax matters, and I'm not an accountant, I do suggest you speak to your independent accountant. I'll speak to our independent accountant to give you some suggestions. And now going to the last part of this video, the next level strategy that I talk about. Like, let's take it one step further. Imagine you own multiple properties. You have property number A, you made a rental loss, for example, $4,000 per year. But the capital growth was $550,000 per year. Then we have property B. It made a rental loss of $18,000 per year, but the capital growth was $150,000. So if property A is also your eligible former home under the 6-year rule, it may make more sense to preserve the main residence exemption on the property with a larger capital gain, while allowing the other property's deductible losses and taxable gain to work under the normal tax rules. Now, this is called maximum optimization with minimum leakage. Again, guys, this is not tax or financial advice. Do speak to your independent accountant or financial advisor to verify all this information. So yeah, guys, this is the end of the video. Hopefully it's not too long, not too much yapping. It's just strategy. Again, guys, this is just general information. If you want a more holistic strategy based on your personal situation tailored to you, I do suggest you book the 15-minute strategy call, which is a quick call for me to game plan what you need to do in the next 90 days, or book the 60-minute deep dive where we go through 60 minutes via Zoom or Team to visually map out your scenarios, and you can ask a bunch of questions within the hour. Or if you want our whole entourage of independent financial advisor, independent accountant, or the buyer's agent, solicitors, or property researchers, book the 90-minute Platinum Accelerator call. Again, guys, less yapping for me, and I hope to see you in the next few days for another episode of That Property Roast.